Good evening, everyone. Welcome along to our live stream. It's been ages, hasn't it? It's been ages. But we're here. We're still fighting fit, out investigating. Thanks a lot for joining us, really. It's myself tonight and Lee, Andy and Mary. And we just fought with the year drawing to a close. And it felt really bad putting that. It felt really crap putting the year drawing to a close. And I said to Jem, what else can we put? And she's like, well, it is like, before we know it, it's October. Before we know it, it's, the year is drawing to a close. And with sort of 5 remaining events left, I just thought, you know what? It's a really good time to come live to you, have a chat with you, let you know what's going on here, let you know where we've been and what we've been up to. It's been a bit of a bitter year with a few sort of gaps and so on. We didn't have many, but we had an event really June or August, so it was one of them where we had sort of took 2 months gap really, which was supposed to give us time to catch up with our looking at evidence and looking at stuff like that, but I don't think that worked too much because we've got so much
intentions.
Still got a lot to do.
Yeah, it was different, but it was one of them where we were going to try and catch up with stuff and see what's going on really. But so Annie said hello, so hi Annie, welcome along. Annie's just booked to come with us at Port Widley, so she's going to come along. I've known Annie. I've known her through sort of Keep It Real and through that way, but never actually investigated with her. So I'm looking forward to get on and investigate. Mouse, Michelle Wilson said hello as well. How you doing? Halloween soon. Yeah, it is Halloween soon. It's it's Halloween and then Christmas before we know it. The shops are already putting Christmas stuff in, aren't they? You've already seen like the celebration boxes and stuff. So that sort of tells us that once Halloween's out of the way, it's down the road to Christmas really. So, but welcome everyone to our live stream. Like I said, if you just caught on, that we are literally bringing to you the remainder of the year, where we've been to, a bit of chat about what we've been up to, where we've been and sort of stuff we've captured. So where we're heading to, and then a little bit about next year really, and what our plan is next year. And I've already started looking at events, looking where we can go, what we can do. They're all quite big and meaty ones, the ones that we're I suppose the list always starts out like that. Where do you want to go? And you sort of write down the Holy Grail list, and we're going everywhere from Ireland to Wales to Venice, Scotland. We're all over the place. And then you start narrowing it down and realising that you need to be a bit more realistic on where we're going to head to and where we're going to go. But it's interesting. It's certainly interesting. There's a few more venues have popped up. We just completed an event this month, or sorry, this weekend just gone, and having conversations with them, they've opened up 2 new venues, 3 including the one we went to. So some really interesting ones, which we chat about and let you know the sort of opportunity and where we're going to be going. But interesting weekend just gone for everyone on the call really. So I thought we'd have a little bit of a chat about that. At home, let us know where you've been, what you've been up to, what you've caught. Let us know where you'd like us to go to or where you'd like to go to, because we're always on the lookout for new venues, or always on the lookout for places to go out and investigate really, and trying to build next year and trying to know what to do. I probably have these thoughts and feelings about mid-October to early November about what we're going to do next year. Are we going to continue the same? Do we change our ethos a little bit by booking less events but bigger events, and investigate more as a team with people joining us rather than public? And it's interesting really. And we always have these conversations, don't we? It's been once a year. It's once a year for coming up 13 years now.
It's got to be, yeah.
But it's knowing what to do. And I think we've always said it's been a reflection of this year really, trying not to do events for the sake of it and just piling time out of our own personal calendars and our own personal lives for the sake of going out and investigating. So making sure that we're going somewhere that adds value, so make sure we go somewhere that we're excited about going back to. And that doesn't have to be these big ones. These can be, we did Purbrook sort of 3 times last year. And then this year we've done Purbrook a few times. It's been really good to us. But then we went back to Widley and really enjoyed it. Really had a good night because we hadn't been there for a little bit. Julie's just said hi as well. Hi, Julie. There is a little bit of a delay on. So I am getting the messages and stuff. But please feel free to comment. Tell us where you've been. Tell us what you've been up to. Any venues you'd like to go us to investigate. If we've spoken to them and there's, I can tell you a little bit, yes, we can get there, no, we can't, and then look at how we're going to do it, really. But we've got a little bit of a plan about what we're going to be chatting about. I normally sort of spring questions on the guys without even telling them. But I have done little bit of prep.
Yeah, got an advance warning tonight, didn't we?
It's normally you, Mary, tell me about this, and you're like, But I gave them a couple of hours notice about what questions I'm going to ask, right? But I think tonight's really key on you guys getting involved as well, letting us know who's watching. If you're watching this back, please feel free to comment, because we'll always pick up the comments. We'll always pick up your notes and try and come back to you. Yeah. So we're going to look at where we've been, what we've been up to, and where we're hopefully going to be heading next year. Got a few irons in the fire. I think there's like 6 I've been chatting to, which are really nice events to go. Maybe a bit of a travel, but really nice events. But so this year we would complete 18. So we'd have done 18 events this year by the time we finish our calendar. So we've got 5 more to do. So it's been interesting this year, really. Julie's coming along. Julie's just put looking forward to Fort Widley. Julie's coming along with Annie. So yeah, looking forward to working with you guys. Really, it's been ages since we've really met up and not really had the opportunity to investigate with you guys. So it'd be really good. So yeah, 18 investigations this year, which I think is a good number. I think 18 is a good number. I have just looked at booking on in December, but we will talk about.
I knew you would, Dan. I knew you would.
I know. Our last event is on the. I think is it the 18th? The 18th of November, and I thought long gap now, and we try to avoid January a little bit because of weather and like cold venues and stuff. So it could be like November to February, and February.
Long time, isn't it?
Dodgy month February because we get snow around February, don't we? So it's also a dodgy month. So
caught out with that one before, haven't we?
Yeah, we've been caught in snow. We've had to leave venues early because of snow. We haven't been able to go because of snow. COVID. There's been so much in there that stopped us investigating. So we tend to sort of head back out against March. So you think it's like November, December, January, February, March. It's 5 months.
No, it feels like forever.
At home for so long. She'll get so fed up with me being at home that she'll want to get rid. So I have looked at a little cheeky one, local, one in December, as well as putting together a Christmas party as well, which would be good. But so the question I guess I'm asking the team tonight, so Mary and Andy and Lee and myself are asking us generally is, what's been your favourite location in 2020? So forget about experience, or it can be hand in hand, but what's been your favourite investigation? Favourite venue to start with. I'm going to start with you.
Brilliant. I don't know, the one last weekend.
George
Jarvis School. That was, the venue was amazing.
The venue was cool.
It's literally the perfect setup for a ghost hunt, isn't it? It's an old school. It's an old, was it boarding school?
Yeah, it's an old boarding school. It's so cool. Such a good venue.
It's got everything you want in a ghost hunt for a venue. So that was a really interesting one to go to.
Cool. Yeah. Mary, what about you? What's been your favourite location?
Do you know what? This year, Merley House has been my favourite.
Yeah.
Because it's new, but it's a beautiful building with so much history to it. But also the experiences and the activity that we've had there has been phenomenal for the few events that we've been there. So yeah, that's definitely the best location for me.
I think that one as well. We've done it like 4 times in 6-7 months. But I think we've earned the you've earned the activity you've got, because the first time you felt like you were just a visitor and you felt like a bit. But I feel like it's one of those venues that the more you do it, the more you sit down, the more you understand the building, you understand its quirks and its, the sort of general building sounds, and you understand who's still there, and you understand how to communicate with I'm going to say it, but with them. I think it's been really fruitful, and it's been really good that we've been picked up some really good activity in the latter stages of the investigation. So that's good. What about you, Andy? What's your best location or your favourite location in 2022?
It's an amazing building, beautiful.
Cool.
We did a lot of work on that one beforehand, so kind of the research in the place was fun and interesting. And it's one of the only places a few places where you hear these really kind of graphic stories about the history, and then that's kind of what's caused people to then see things, and then you actually find out it was true, it did happen. And I think kind of the work we all put in as a team, kind of beforehand and during, that was a really good one, I think, for us, like team wise, just to really get into the building, because it was completely new to us. So I think we all kind of really hit that one really hard. So I think St. John's House, looking forward to going back hopefully at some point.
Yeah, that was up there. I think mine. I think that was up in my location. It's really good. I think that my one is probably. It was good to go back to Winchester. Loved going back to Winchester. That's been a venue that's been really good in the past, and I liked it. I think from a venue point of view, and trumped it from I think George Jarvis School. And I think, you know what, for me as well, like mainly organising it and getting ready and getting everything sorted. Turn up to a venue, the owner just says, "There we go." In the morning was like valuable, because how many times have we been to a venue where we've been through, and this George Jarvis School it's an investigation through another ghost group, and honestly, right, we've been to countless venues where we've been through another ghost group, and they've gone, well, you've got this area, this area, this area, and they've either kept an area for themselves, or they've been so instrumental in our investigation, hindered what we've got. And we've had loads of them, haven't we? Loads. I'm trying to remember them. But Coal House Fort.
Medic Baths.
They
brought many people.
Yeah. I think the Block was one as well.
Yeah.
They had a whole area to themselves. Block had a whole. They actually had one whole area to themselves and didn't give us that. So going back a few years, but there's always. Or do you know what? I think even forget about other ghost groups. Sometimes owners of places, Northwood House can be one of them. What one of them? Preston Manor was one of them. Wasn't it? Remember Preston Manor? It wrong night and had the wrong team. Yeah, they would be literally trying to lead everything, and I miss Preston Manor in fairness. But George Jarvis School, the lady there from another ghost group, was amazing, really, really cool, and just it's an investigation where we got there. Yeah, we got there 7 o'clock, pushing. We were pushing it, weren't we? The shop one over, pushed it till 7 o'clock, and sort of coming back to lock up. You turn up with bacon sandwiches in the morning, and you sort of thought that's the whole run of the place. It's just, and you were left alone, and it's a great. I think if you look at, I think it's the closest venue when you look at the outside to the American penitentiaries we always talk about. With a vast, with a clock tower in the middle, and it looks like that. It almost like one of them really, and we had some amazing stuff there. But from a venue point of view, good. It was. The only flip side of that is we're not allowed to sell that event as a public event, so we're only allowed to bring along our members. We're only allowed to bring along our members. The people that are watching can come along to it because you guys are all part of our closed society, if that makes sense. But you're not allowed to sell it, put it on the site and sell it as an event. But we're 12 of us there, wandering around the place, 2 groups. It was just, and as you got sellers. 2 cellars, which weren't massive, but 2 cellars, ground floor, middle floor, top floor. So you got the best part of 4 floors, and the outbuilding, which is 2 stories and completely separate. So you've got like 5 areas to investigate over 40 rooms. I thought there was more than 40 rooms, but so that was really good, really. Yeah. And I bet one of those stay over. We drove back. It completely ruined my Sunday. So it was a tough night. But the guys that stayed over said it was perfect. The mess room had heaters in there, so actually we used it as a hub, and the mess room had heaters in there, so they had a decent night's sleep, I think. So it wasn't too bad. But really good. Couple of questions come in. So Mouse has said 2 seconds. I've got to scroll back up again. Come to Cambridgeshire Way. Loads of old buildings around here. Mouse, get us some venues. We'll be there in a shot. Absolutely. Cambridgeshire, we haven't done anything that way, have we? So we'd love to come out that way. Annie said, only done a few investigations this year. Really missing out since COVID hit our shores and messed things up. Yeah, we feel it. We get it. And it's only starting from an event point of view. It's only starting to feel okay now. What it has been on a positive side from a running it, there are some venues where, sometimes you take 24, so you have 3 groups of 8. We've sort of changed a few bits now where we go sort of through, I think most of our events now 15 people, 3 groups of 5, or like the weekend was 12 people, 2 groups of 6, or 6 I think it was 13 people, 6 and 7. So it's actually made us refocus. venues have got a bit more expensive, I think, but splitting it right, we were able to take less people. So Julie, who's coming along with Annie, said, what interesting evidence have you got at Fort Widley that we could explain? So that is a question that's totally...
Couldn't explain.
Oh, that we couldn't explain. So that's a question that's right off the cuff that will give you some time to think about.
From this year or any year?
So let me tell you about... Well, so any time.
Yeah.
We've only been once this year, haven't we?
Yeah.
We're going back. I'll tell you one right off the bat, right? When we first started investigating there, we used to put up cameras, didn't we? We used to put up locked off cameras in the centre, in the centre spiral staircase, facing down and facing all the tunnels. So we would then try and lock off that, which was okay. It gave us a bit of a steer. One night when we were putting up the cameras, one was the lad, weren't we? Me and Lee were together. We looked down the end, and there was a silhouette of a person standing there. And I said to Lee, "Look down the bottom, there's someone there." And I said, "Right, we'll go." And we literally ran from there right the way to the end. And as we got to the end, like, there was no one around, was there? And we got to the top of the, naturally, from a natural non-ghost believer side of things, they would say it was a normal person that was standing there. But there was no one there. We sped up that tunnel, and there's no one there. I didn't even say to Lee, "Look really loud," because I thought I'm going to whisper, because I thought it was someone. But yeah, looking up as Lee, look at the end of and we both saw it and ran towards it, and nothing was up there. And by the time we got up there, naturally it could have made it way, or they could have made it way out. But we searched everywhere, didn't we? And there was nothing. And
we couldn't see anybody.
Really, really, really odd. But I think another occurrence. I'm not going to say the name, but another reoccurring thing we've had at Fort Widley is we've spoken to a woman.
Just about to say.
Wait, you tell it. You can tell it.
Yeah, again, I won't give it too many details, but we've spoke to somebody for a board and through Rods as well. I think some groups have, and we've got the same name, same dates, same cause of death,
same reason for being.
Yeah, literally everything the same. The first time we had this, there was a gap of about 3 years. They're completely different people, even down to team leaders.
Yeah,
and there's no way anybody could have. There's no one there from the previous event that could have taken notes and then used them in that investigation. So for it to be down to the names and everything.
And the reason for them
We've had it a few times.
Isn't natural, is it? If you think about what the venue's about, the reason for them being there isn't that. We've had it on Rods, we've had it, but honestly, just the name's been bang on. The reason for that person being bang on, and it was just, blew us away. Really blew us away. Can you think of any guys weirdly that's off the top of your head?
Story a few times, but it's favourite evidence of a reoccurring sort of event, really, which is when it was years and years and years ago, like one of the first times we went, and Beth and I were on the battlements, and I was wandering off down away as I tend to do, and then came back, and Beth said she'd heard these footsteps walking up to her, and then she did some calling out, and then nothing while standing there. I walked away again just to see if anyone was nearby, and then she heard them walk away. So next time we went there, we decked out audio down the entire length, put a parabolic dish on one end. Every 10 meters we had another audio recorder to try and see if we can catch it. And the whole night didn't get anything at all until right at the end, when I went up at the end of the night to go get the parabolic dish, and I was just taking it down, I heard someone walking up behind me, and I thought someone was just coming to say hello and stuff. Turn around, and then the footsteps sped up a little bit, and then there was nothing. And on another occasion, we've had other people standing up on there with us on the battlements and heard those footsteps walking up. I think maybe 2 other times then. Yeah. So, and all those times we caught them on audio. And the weird thing is that audio in the footsteps, it sounds like someone walking along gravel. But if you've been there, you can then that walkway beneath the fire step is just all grass and overgrown. And Dan, you said you spoke to was it one of the curators or the owners, who then explained that in Victorian times, when it was actually still an active fort, they had shingles down there just to stop people slipping over, and that is pretty much what the audio sounds like. So it's a really good example of catching the same thing again and again and again, and it being linked to a time which is not this time.
No, I was watching on there, so it was delayed. I was watching you being delayed. Yeah, I got told off because I contacted like the historian for Widley, and I called it a parade ground, and he literally put it down. It's called a parade. A parade ground is like it really told me off, but I said, I know you're not need to find out. It would have been shingle, like would have been shingle, you know, for maintenance and for sturdiness underfoot. It would have been shingle, and I was like, that's all I need to know because that's what the footsteps sounded like. So that's some good thing. What about you, Mary? Can you remember anything there or not?
Well, yeah, and actually, I don't think I've ever heard you tell the story about the silhouette figure of the guy in the centre of the room, or in the centre of the building, because I had an experience on one of the investigations where I was just setting up at the beginning of the night. I'd walked down to the bottom of the corridor in the first tunnel, and I'd closed the door so that there wasn't any noise interference. I put a cat ball down, and it was on the side of the wall, sort of behind where the door would normally be. So it was on like a ledge. And I walked back up to sort of where the semi-centre of the tunnel is, and literally turned round, and the cat board started flashing. But I saw a person sort of bending down to sort of set it off, but it was so instant that I sort of almost sort of told them off for doing it because I thought there was a person down there, but it wasn't. There was no way physically that anybody had to set it off. But it was exactly the same area where you've said that you saw that figure as well. So, and I didn't know that story, so that's quite interesting.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we had another thing down the same tunnel. We have had a board going, and we had quite a few newbies, right? And they were doing the boards and stuff. And I had set 2 cat balls in the tunnel and some motion detectors and douse balls, sorry, yeah, and some motion detectors. And they were asking how many people were there, and Hev was asking about, if how many are there, and it said 6. And then suddenly we said, "Oh, is everyone leaving?" It said yes. And then one cat ball went off, another douse ball went off, and then the motion detectors, like the barrier beams, they tripped.
Yeah.
But
wow.
And then, and that was like coinciding with Heather saying that the people they were leaving. They said because numbers were dropping, and Heather said, "Are you leaving?" It said yes, and it went 1, 2, and then the barrier beams went off. So that was quite cool as well. I had loads there really. I think that we took it for granted for ages, so we did it loads. It was just a really easy, quickly do it Portsmouth event. We could be working in the day, make it there. We could do it on a Friday, and giving it a rest and going back there. I'm actually really looking forward to October because it's only the second time in a year and a bit, really. So, yeah, looking forward to go back there. And we've given Purbrook a bit of a break as well. So we've not gone back to Purbrook since. Were we in Purbrook in March? Was it around March time?
Yeah, April.
Maybe.
Yeah, that was the last one.
April, yes. April. Going back there. We're going back there in
November, isn't it?
In November. Well, we've got 5 tickets. 5 left. But yeah, we're going back there, and I'm looking forward to go back to there because I think it offers something different to Fort Widley. So yeah, looking forward to that. So a few questions back here. Let me make sure we pick these up. We've got loads. So we've done it. How many times have we done it, Annie? You must know how many times we've done it. It's got to be 20.
Widley,
You reckon?
Widley's into the
Widley.
Running numbers. I'm going to go with 42.
Is it? So Widley mid-30. When Simon got slapped as well.
Yeah.
that was brilliant. We've got so many stories. Our friend Simon we were on a break and he was telling us about his team.
That was fun.
And we were in like one of the upper areas, what we call the bar area now. And as we walked out, all we heard was like a slap. And he went, "Ow!" Turn around. And I went,
you were Ginge, weren't you?
Yeah, me, Ginge and Simon, and we're just talking, and we went away so we could chat about it. And honestly, the slap sound, so much so, the people that are having cigarettes are by the stairs. You were like, who just slapped him? And we're like, absolutely no one. Like,
you could hear it.
But they like cuffed him around the back of the head. That's really good as well. But yeah, so many stories. We could do a Woodley show, couldn't we, again? But so Michelle's asked, do they still do Woodchester? Do we still do Woodchester Mansions? Yes, we went back to Woodchester Mansions this year. You can still do. They offer the smaller nights where you can take maximum of 15, and it's a little bit more of a reduced price. You pay per head, I think you do, and it's really nice and manageable. And I know that Andy and Mary and Beth have been really lucky enough to do it with 3 and really small numbers. I think we took like 12 last time, which is all right. It's all right, but when you've done the venue, I think we did it with 6 at one time as well. When you've done it with such small numbers, even 12 feels too much sometimes. Whereas where you've been lucky to walk around with 2s and 3s, it's a good venue. Michelle's also asked, where was the zoo we went to years ago? That was good. So that's Dudley Zoo, and honestly, you're preaching to the converted mouse, because it's one of Andy and Beth's favourite venues. Well, you had a really good night there, Andy, didn't you, as well?
Footsteps on wood that were literally above our heads in the burnt out bit of castle where we were looking at the sky, and it's really clear on the audio as well. So that's a good location. We could really wish we could get back there.
It's you know what? Yeah.
Yeah. We had
what was that? What was that?
Some K2 hits, and we're just walking around the middle of, it's just completely. Oh, it was we went through into the castle, wasn't it? Yeah. So, and that place, there's entire areas where they've got nowhere near any electric, so it's a good control area apart from the audio because of all the animals, but everything else is pretty good.
Yeah. I know. I lost Lee. I lost. Judy says, "Can you tell Andy to turn his mic up? I can't hear him." We're interested in stories. So Michelle said, "Can we go back there?" So we added Dudley Castle to our list for 2023. Then
is it doable?
So. I'd go back.
I've never been there, Dan. So yeah, I'm up for that.
Mary.
I was just
doing
an investigation, and then we heard some footsteps, and I said, "Right, is everyone accounted for?" And everyone was like, "Lee's not here," and I'm thinking, "Oh God, we're in a zoo. Where could he be?" Or what? We found him. He was over by the meerkats.
Was he like this?
Where we were told to sort of not go.
Great place to be. Why not?
We were told not to sort of go out of the confines because you'll disturb the animals. One night, everything going off, and then Lee's at the meerkats playing with the meerkats. So yeah, nice. We will.
At least he's not with the lions, Dan. Be grateful for that.
Yeah. Although we did have the sea lion, didn't we? That big, massive sea lion that was behind us when we were climbing. We weren't climbing. If anyone from Dudley's watching it, but when we might
No climbing.
the walls, we sort of looked over the sea lion, didn't we? That was amazing. So Julie's put at Purbrook. I was with a group of guests and we saw a figure at the end of the tunnel, but no one was there when we checked and we couldn't debunk it. Julie, right? That happened. I think did it happen with you, Mary and Heather? Last time we
it wasn't my group. It was Heather and Mark, I think. But
yeah. And they saw
they
down from the cell area and looked back up the tunnel and saw a figure standing at the end of the tunnel, and it was lit up by the security light at the top. And but actually when we went to try and debunk it, so when we went to stand as a silhouette, they couldn't actually see us. So they attributed it to being right at the doors, but actually it had to be halfway up because there was like a halfway up security light. So they couldn't see the full figure. So yeah, we've had that there as well. Like I said, we're going back there in November. We're looking forward to go back there. It's one of them where it's good. We sort of go 2 groups, one down each tunnel, so we try and sort of minimise.
We had the same thing actually when we were coming down that really big staircase. And we with Cherry, and she came to the bottom. She looked up the corridor and saw exactly the same sort of thing. There's this figure which was passing by the door at the end, and she sort of kind of passed one side of it and then the other side of it. Interesting. So many people were seen the same exact same thing.
So that's good. It's nice for it on another event, which is really good. So that was where we had the green light above it. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what. I'm sure that's where Heather saw the same. Heather saw the same. So we've had it on 2 separate occasions where we've seen someone at the end of the tunnel. So it's been really good. We caught some really high EVPs as well in the cell area up there. We had some really, really good interaction. We did post lockdown when it was like we went and we played music, and then the music order went off in your hand, in your pocket, Andy, where we were asking for
music's
it.
Great there.
Which couldn't have happened. It was really odd. So we're looking forward to that. So Michelle's put, yeah, let's do it. So Dudley Castle's going to join the new list. If any tickets come up from Englefield, I'll let you know. It's a really small venue. But yeah, I will let you know, Mouse, on that one. And Julie, yeah, that's where she saw it with the green light above it. That's exactly where Heather saw it. So yeah, it's really good to have these sort of chats and understand that you're on another event and caught the same.
We need to get a camera there for the entire night, just pointing towards that spot.
We do. If only we knew someone that had if only had a team that could do that for us. So Annie's put, I've never seen any figures at the forts, but I've captured whistling on EVP. We've we've caught that. I think we've had sort of whistling and stuff like that, haven't we? So yeah, we've had some sort of response, and I can't think of a set time we've caught. It's one of the experiments we try, aren't there? But we seem to at Fort Pembroke when Anne Widley in the bar area when Andy and Beth were playing the music, so the sort of theme,
sort of Victorian sort of
music. Whether it's war related or whether it's foreign music, whether it's like French theme music, whatever, we need to get a really good response. So they're the sort of things we've been trying there. Yeah, it's EVPs are certainly good, aren't they? So
Pembroke's good for EVPs. We've got a lot still to review for EVPs, but you guys, Steve, I think caught one up in the prisoner of war area.
Yeah, really. Really, it's almost like an older person, like breath or like interrupted. Really, him and another lady up there. Not Jen. I can't remember the other lady's name, but yeah, they were both up there, and they were both up there, and they're both talking at the time. So it's third person talking through it. So yeah, really odd. Yep. Okay, Andy, we're going to test your mic now. So where's your favourite venue in 2022 for an experience?
It's going to be Woodchester. Yeah, it's always going to be Woodchester with me. But that was such an interesting night for events because it was generally quite a quiet night. There was only little bits here and there, but right at the end, right at the point when we were kind of almost packing away and taking things down, it was just after 1 o'clock. Everything just happened at once. We were getting people hearing footsteps around the place and chasing people upstairs. Both myself and Beth and two other guys at different times saw a shadow figure just by the cellar. We literally thought it was you coming up, Dan. We had devices going off simultaneously all over the building. And even things like where we were looking at the magnetometer, where we were doing that logging, it picked that up. That at that point when everything went very hectic, it was suddenly seeing these big spikes in the magnetic field in the building. It's really kind of a shame that it kind of waited until that point in the night and we were needing to go, but it's always the way, isn't it? But yeah, very good for both kind of experiencing things, but also kind of picking up good data and good footage as well. So that figure we saw, we can just about see it on the video. We can just about catch it as we're kind of coming up the corridor. Yeah, and there was also a very good EVP down at the same sort of time down in the cellar that Mary caught as well. Very clear.
Which is actually going to be my favourite experience as well, even though it wasn't my favourite at the time.
Leads on. Good.
Right, that's fine. I mean, so I thought I was being brave on the night and going to collect my camera after the first session on my own. But yeah, as I walked down the stairs and I walked back up, I felt like there was somebody behind me. Heard footsteps coming up the stairs. Kind of sort of swung my camera around to sort of, I don't know, protect myself. But then heard two more footsteps coming up towards me. So I thought, okay, I'm going to get out of there. And then sort of as I was going up the stairs, there was more footsteps sort of following me. But after I reviewed that footage, you can hear EVPs telling me to either get out or swear at me. There's a video on the website that you can listen to that sort of shows it. But yeah, again, at the end of the night, we had another EVP that was clear as day, while Heather was on the board, and was talking about an officer that was in World War One, which is also connected to the building. So yeah, like you say, all happened at the end of the night, but some very credible experiences there. So yeah, I could go on to Merley House, but I'll leave that for somebody else because that's my other favourite location and
It's
experience.
my top 10.
Yeah, I could go on for a long time.
It's been good. I think it's been good this year, though. I think we've had some really good stuff and stuff we've been really lucky, like Merley House with that video where Andy gets touched. That like you see the trousers going, you call it out at the
That
time.
didn't sound great, Dan.
That's. But you see, like you react to it, and then when you've managed, like when you've captured like where you've had
So
the camera
close as well,
angle,
isn't it? So close to the camera. You don't
It's
often
just-
see that.
It's really odd. How many times we sit here and go, we had some really good stuff, but we didn't capture it on camera, or we didn't capture it. But whereas there's been some really good. Well, what about you? You've got one. Lee's been working away quite a bit this year, so he hasn't been on many.
Done about 4 or 5.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
St John's House, we had a good night there, didn't we?
Yeah, because we were set up, weren't we?
At the beginning, the first
The
session.
first session, we set ourselves up in the and then we spread ourselves out with apples and
That was
It was
awesome.
apples, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole session, we had different things going off, different equipment. That was good. Last weekend again, we had first session there, we had the light on Dragons upstairs,
Yeah, it was really odd.
and just could not figure out. I don't know whether we caught it on live.
No, we did. I don't know if we did or not.
But it was so clear, and then we had in the first session.
And I think that's mine. I think that's mine. Maybe it's so fresh in my mind, but with their there's two things. So St John's House, that first setup was really good. I feel like we really had the place nailed. So we had like Mark he bought quite a lot of equipment from America. He's got like the laser grid, alarms, and all sorts of stuff that goes on. And we had the balls laid out. We had the motion detectors, and it just constant treatment, footsteps and noises and sort of activity really. But last weekend, I've been trying to process something in my mind. It was on live stream, and we're sitting in the old caretaker's room where the caretaker would have done, where the work would have gone on. And I watched it back on live stream, and it could be natural, right? But I'm sitting there in a pair of shorts, and I turn around and say that maybe try and frighten. Sorry. And then suddenly, I jump up on the back of my leg, right? And my legs were quite far out because there were quite a few spiders there. And I felt something like pull the back of my hair or like touch the back of my leg. And I jumped, honestly. But I didn't really think anything at the time because we were searched on whether it was any spiders or whether there was anything on the back of this bench. Until I watched it back and I said, maybe you can frighten us. And then like a couple of minutes later, I jump up my. And I honestly, right, we looked under the bench because Rox was really worried about spiders and stuff. There was nothing. There was no cobwebs. There was nothing down. There was nothing there. And then leading on to like the taps and stuff. And this is where we were having problems with the camera. So we were sort of sideways. And so someone pointed, I think Mary pointed, or Andy pointed out to us, we were going sideways. So Lee was trying to fix the camera. We went into what they call a seance room. Now this seance room, made up room. It's a made up room. No. It's a table where they've got loads of different photos of seance techniques and things happening. So the ectoplasm and the floating forks and all sorts of photos they've got of old stuff happening. And I just thought something we've never done. If we ever look at what a ghost hunt or whatever, everyone got their hands on the table, everyone joining their thumbs and fingers, everyone got straight. And if I'm being a bit honest, not really us. It's not really what we do. However,
in that environment, just then.
And Lee was playing. You were off camera at the time. Lee was going, right, I'm going to go live. And I'm like, well, I'm not doing this. I don't want people to come on and see us all. Is there anybody there? But honestly, we did it. Whilst we were off camera, we did it. We had our fingers and we were all touching in a circle, had the candles in the middle. And it felt like the table was vibrating, and I know there's a lot of us that are all pushing down it, so it could have been natural. But then Lee goes live, and we realize the camera angle's quite poor. So Lee puts the camera on the chair, and I've rocked my feet backwards, so both my feet are locked and back behind me. We're holding out, and we called out, "Can you make a bang on the table? Can you do something?" And suddenly you hear, duk, 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 and it clear as day. So much so that Peter said to me, "Dan, that was you. That was you. That was your feet." But actually, where we've poorly positioned the camera, we've caught my feet.
No,
So,
you don't, yeah.
and you see, I don't move at all, and our hands, I absolutely do not move. And we caught, and the room felt good. The room felt like there was energy in it, and we were getting a few things.
Getting a few noises, weren't we, from outside and outside the room.
We were having the like footsteps. We were having the like the what's it called when you
Vibrations.
Vibration?
Yeah, the vibration. Sorry, yeah. So we had Hev started in that room, and she had it on like a shelf with an old artifacts on it, and there were 3 of them in the room and no one else in the building because we were out and they were 3 stories above, and they were having it like shine purple. She was having vibrations coming from this cabinet, and they were nowhere near it. She had a Dowsball cap will go off on the table, and then another cap will go off next to it, which like two different things. She was picking up temperature spikes. It was just felt like a really good room. So when we did that experiment, we were all holding hands. We weren't holding hands. We all had our hands on the table. Sorry. It felt so wrong. Not wrong, but it felt like we were really building to something. And that was another scenario that unfortunately we were at the back end of our investigation. So we had to go, and then the other groups were coming downstairs. So it was really frustrating that we didn't really continue. And by the time we broke off that energy, I tried to get the others into the room to try and do a bit of a group session, but it just. I think Hev says, I'm like, so what we expecting to see? And I'm like, well, let me just see what. And then it sort of broke the vibe a little bit, but it was really cool. But I'm sure there's so many other things. I think that was my favourite so far, but that's only because it was the last weekend. It was fresh in my mind. But loads of different stuff going on. That just really, really odd.
It needs further investigating.
Oh, we'll definitely go back there. But so Julie said, "Are you going back to the ancient Ram Inn?" Julie, honestly, I don't know. We've done it 8, 10, probably. We've done it more times than it's on the site. I reckon we've done it 20 times. I reckon we've done it 15, probably 8 or 9 times on the site. We've probably done it 20 times. We've been there with. We've been there with great. They're nice. We've actually been there with 15 people. We've been there with 4 people. We've been there all sorts, and we've been there when John was living there. We've been there when John was moved into a home, and we've been there when John passed away. And we've got some really good activity there. If I'm being brutal, which I'm going to be, and I have been to Caroline, really, it's really expensive for me. A really expensive event. Trying to make it work is so difficult with the amount of people. Now, if you catch it on a night where, on a Sunday or a weekday, you can get it like £65 a head. No many people, so 2 of you can go for 130 quid. 2 of you can go there and sit there, but that means it's a bank holiday. Whereas on a weekday, it'd be 700-800 quid. And so I think one night we paid £125 a person to try and keep the numbers down, and it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, although it's probably my favourite venue. I love it. I just love it there. Michelle said it's not the same without John. It was really weird. We tried to use that last time we were there, and we think we caught his voice. Honestly,
100%.
I think we caught his voice.
So
We've got a video, and I was sort of saying, I was calling out and saying, "Listen, John, you campaigned for years about the ghosts here. You're the only person that's kept this alive about the spirits and about the interaction. This is your chance to prove that ghosts exist. Talk to us." And we've got a video. We'll post it. It's a really weird. We've got a really weird EVP.
It's his voice.
It sounds like John.
Clear as anything.
It really does sound like him. So we've been really spoiled there. We went there just after lockdown, or not during lockdown, when we were allowed to, and there was 4 or 5 of us again. And
well, that first
we've
one
done
where
it
there was
4 or 5
just the
people.
3 of us, and we had all
Right.
the footsteps and dragging above us. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just
Oh, was it
us
just
3.
3, and then then I joined on the next one afterwards.
That was
yeah,
quite
the three
impressive.
people
You know
there.
exactly who's in
Yeah,
the
so we've
building, then, don't you? And that's the problem
done it
with taking too
before.
many people. You have to discount so much because of the sound travels between that entire building, doesn't it?
Yeah. The stone fan. I know that Michelle's got a video of the catwalk coming back, or the one of
Oh
the,
yeah,
one of
that's
the,
an
balls
amazing
coming
video.
up. That's one of the balls. That's a great video.
Yeah.
You know, that's probably one of my favourite videos. That
Yeah,
because
Roger was just
naturally,
down the stairs, and there's no way Roger would be chucking anything around.
Nah, and it can't like to get the ball to land. But we had stone, didn't we? When we were there last time, we had stone thrown.
Andy had his name called as
Yeah.
well when we
And that
were
was
all on the
really
stairs.
interesting because when we were down the bottom of the
God, yeah,
stairs, that my name sounded different to when we were at the top.
It's on the list.
Really
It's on
strange that.
Yeah, it's odd, especially when we weren't even set up. And you know what? That's when like your preparation comes in. Because let's think about it. Let's be honest. Me and Mary were with you. We had our equipment was probably in the box. We got upstairs, we got the toilet, turn some lights on. And if you hadn't been recording, we never would have got it. But when you turn around and said, "You stay up and say my name," we were like, "No, well." But to hear it was odd, really, really odd. So, yeah, really good. So we've got a few more. So Dave's put, sorry I'm late to the Fleetwood Mac reunion. It's mocking the big hair, I reckon.
All right.
The hair is wild. I am getting it cut, trust me. I actually wore a hat this weekend and I got more mocks for being.
It did look like a school. I thought you'd found a
looked like
schoolboy
proper
cap
with a long
somewhere
beard.
and you put it on.
Well,
No, it's
who
true.
would even
I
wear
was
it?
surprised. I thought,
Let's be honest.
No,
did you beat Lee
no,
to it?
but I wonder who else it might have been.
Well, do you know, I'm not going to do my hair. I wear a hat, but I got so much shit that I'm getting it cut. I thought it was tonight for some reason. I'm getting it cut tomorrow. So, yeah, that's going to be done. So, have you ever tried using a conduction rope? No.
No.
Nick Fleetwood. Does that look like? No, we haven't.
Is that the one
Talk
where
me
you've
through
got
it, Julie.
a series of
very
devices that
interested.
are linked with little short bits of wire? So it looks kind of like a string of buoys, spelt buoys, buoys, string of buoys that you put across the room. I think I've seen that a few times. Is that a conduction rope?
Okay.
That's what I was going to say.
Yes.
Okay, sorry,
me
Lee.
to that.
I won't jump in so quickly next time.
But it also won't bother. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. So no, we haven't. But where have you tried it, and what sort of results you got from it? Really interesting. Dave Everett, come on, Dan. When are we doing the Warrior? We're doing it. We are doing it. It's just, I think, like we've had these conversations. We are definitely going to. We are definitely going to try and do the Warrior, the ship, the Warrior in Portsmouth. I know you've had some amazing nights. Jesus Christ, we've had some amazing nights there. It's not arranged yet. Nothing in 2023 is arranged yet, but it's on my list, and we're going to go into those events in a minute. Just before we do, though, Andy, Mary, last weekend you went to Parameet. Mary, you stayed in the haunted room the night before. Yeah. So yeah, you stayed the night before. I want to know if anything happened there. And then Andy, you would have met people there as well, but also you've got you were selling your equipment as well. So interesting to find out what you
Mary, do you want to cover
found.
your hotel room quickly?
Yeah, it will be very quick. Yeah, so we went to Bosworth for Parameet, which is a convention, to meet lots of like-minded people, and Andy sort of sell his products. But yeah, the night I arrived the night before, and that I mentioned that I was going to be part of the convention, so they said, "Oh, she's from Paranormal Group. We'll put you in the haunted room in the tower."
Goodness.
So yes, they put me in the oldest part of the building.
Did they give you those? 'Cause when we bumped into you, you had these sheets which is all about the ghosts. Did they say you're the most haunted room? Here's all the literature about what ghosts you might see tonight. Have a nice night.
Well, no, I think that was standard. Just that they gave out to everybody.
Welcome
I
to
think.
our haunted hotel.
But yeah, they haunted hotel. Yeah, but they put me in an area called the tower. Knocked on the door. as we went in, which was a good sign. I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, I had equipment with me. I put it out, but sadly nothing happened. So yeah, I had quite a peaceful night and slept quite well. So yeah, but yeah. So then we met Andy in the morning.
Which is well organised by Neil Packer from the Haunted Antiques Paranormal Research Centre, which I'm really interested to actually maybe investigate it someday. That'd be quite interesting. Mouth stuff that he's got there that could be either a trigger object or linked to something. It'd be kind of good to check out a place with so much stuff. I mean, Lee lives with that much stuff, but yeah, I'm sure he doesn't want us to investigate his house.
I think it would be a very different investigation for us as well, wouldn't it? Because while we go to locations, you don't go to a location that's specific and has haunted items in there as well. So I think it would be an interesting
met loads of we both met some really interesting people. People kind of knew us anyway from the sort of things we've been doing, and just come up and say, hi Andy, how are you doing? Hi, nice to meet you in person. I bought way too many haunted magazines. I just filled up got all the back issues, which was great. I quite enjoyed that, and got to talk about what we do on investigations and how we set up and what we've been doing for all these years, and people were very interested. They were kind of I don't know, I think they appreciated the different take we use on investigations and the approach which we've been using. I think that was quite intriguing. I think we had lots of chats about how we set up and how we've kind of got the data we've used to make the equipment. Was probably longer than talking about the equipment itself, really. Though,
I mean, sorry. I was going to say the two areas that they were interested in was the air pressure and the magnetism, because it's so different to anything that's out there in the field at the moment. So they were definitely sort of interested in that, and it was great to sort of share that with lots of different groups and individuals as well, and speak about different styles and techniques of investigation. So I think on both sides, I think you'll probably agree, it was really interesting to share stories and investigation tips.
I also knocked up different colour devices just to kind of show that we make different brandings for different teams, etc. I'm not showing this, but there's a yellow Aeroflux. Look at that. Not good. I've been running a little soak test in the background. It occasionally beeps when we talk about certain things that are happening. I also got to
nice.
I've got to show this new device, which is the Magnavx. So, based on what we were doing, and I mentioned before as well, the magnetic study we've been doing, made a device to try and help us use that more live, more real time when we're investigating as well. And that was actually quite interesting. I think people were interested in trying that specifically rather than looking at EMF as a whole. And we're using a few investigations this year as well, haven't we?
Yeah. I've also got a new Ouija board for us to try down the dark.
Did you buy other? Did you?
Yeah. So that'll
cool
be on the next investigation.
Good work. Nice.
Good.
So a few more comments have come in now. So Annie's got one. So Judy, when she was talking about the conductor rope, said that Annie's got one. So hopefully she brings it along to Fort Widley, and we'll have a little play with that. See what we go. Ian Shawsker, any good live 24-hour events you've got involved in? Just asking for a friend. Ian Shaw. I've not met you in, I don't think, but
that was the live that we done at Merley House.
Yes.
That was Ian, yeah.
Was that Ian?
So that's Ian, and he interviewed us.
And he's asking that
from
because
Merley House.
He was doing a 24-hour event during that live. That's why he was still awake when we were investigating.
God.
Good work. We'll have to do a few more of them, Ian. If you want to set something up, we'll do a whole investigation.
We should get him
where
along.
can
I think that's what
cameras
would
out.
be good.
Um,
Get him to come to one.
Live, you guys are streaming and you get involved and sort of see us put it into practice. I think that's a really good idea. We try to do it with streaming, but bringing a bit more of a platform would be really good. So Dave says, Dave, honestly, right, I've not booked the Warrior yet, but it's coming. And then Ian's put, aren't ghost sheets a Halloween?
Only if you don't want to spend much money and don't want to ruin your sheets.
Okay. Easy. Cut two eyes and then rest on our events. It's very quiet. We put Lee in the sheet, runs around the back, just runs around screaming. So it's just your guaranteed investigation with those sheets. I don't know, but no, yes, ghost very good. Very good Halloween costume. Customising it. Ian's put a really good to come on one and record. You are more than welcome, mate. Whenever you want to, link up with Andy and Mary. What I probably would do is probably try and factor it into an event where we set it up purely for that. So rather than have like a sold out venue where, maybe try and tailor a venue around you guys coming along, recording, filming, streaming your guys, and then us really being able to investigate and try the different equipment we talk about. And it'd probably be better than trying to pick back on a normal event where, we're sort of really big. I like probably purely for, we know you can get to film and really sort of get down and use the type of techniques we use. But let's set that up. We've got some really good venues that have either Wi-Fi or signal in every area. So if you ever want to do that, we will definitely link up. It'd be really good to get streaming with you. No worries at all. Let's get it arranged. But we're pushing for time. It's 7 minutes past 9, so we're pushing for time. Just the only other thing I was talking about was the remaining events for this year, where we're heading to next, the next couple of events, and then where we're looking at next year. Really, I think next year is where everyone's more interested in. But our next event is Saturday, next Saturday, which is in Bronigarth, which is an old workhouse and prison. It's old. It's 1839. It's a really, really old place, and I think we're sleeping there.
It's a long way.
5 hours.
We haven't done a workhouse before, have we?
So you've basically got the event from 7 until 9 in the morning, where you have to be up and out. But I've been reassured that the mess room there, you've got heated, so where you would sleep, as long as you've got a bed or some place to sleep, you'll be able to get some good bit of shut eye and then travel home in the morning. So that's the Bronigarth sleepover. Really looking forward to that one. And then we've got Fort Whitney on the 15th, which is now sold out. And then we've got, at the end of the month, we've got Shire Hall on the 28th. We've still got, I've not done that one yet. We've still got five tickets for that. And a grade 1 listed old courtroom, and it ties to the sort of pole, or I don't say it's wrong, the Toll Puddle Martyrs and stuff. So it's got.
Yeah, very good. It's like a mini Galleys of Justice, really, isn't it?
Yes.
I never went, so I'm looking forward to going on that one. We've still got 3 or 5 tickets left for that as well. That's on the 20th. That's probably our closest to the Halloween event. And then into November, we are doing Englefield Hall, which is sold out. It's only a real small venue, so we look to sort of cut the numbers on that. We won't have the full complement of all us being there as well, because it's so small, so it's a really small event. But we've got that one coming up on there. And then we've got 18th of November, we've got 5, well, there was 5 tickets remaining. We sold like 11 tickets yesterday and the day before. It's been really good. And then I'm looking to book something, maybe Victoria House, something like that, something just to close the year off. Somewhere local, somewhere warm, somewhere just to close the year off. And I'm chatting to Faye about trying to do one of the local events there. Maybe I can't not. And then that leads us into 2023. So we've had some really good suggestions tonight on where you'd like to see us go and what you'd like to see us do. Always like to go to places where you said, Mouse has commented, Peterborough Museum looks a really good place, along with Gresham Hall Workhouse. So yeah, all good venues. I'm creating a list, and I guess the list is going on, but the ones we're probably going to visit. We're going to go back to George Jarvis School. Got to take you guys there that didn't come along with us. Really nice venue. and it's a venue you have, like I say, from 7 until 9 in the morning. So you go when you want to go. You sort of sleep if you want to sleep. You investigate if you want to investigate. And even if you slept in the mess room, you're nowhere near really the investigating. It's sort of a locked off area down one end. We've never really investigated. So the lady there has been really good, and she's going to let us have the run of the place again. Like I say, we can't sell tickets on the site, but we can let our members come along as long as we're not selling them live to random people and not. And then they've also got the nunnery in Worcester, which was built in 1879, and it's a huge site with a church in the middle, with corridors that run to it, and then you've got the accommodation block where the nuns used to sleep, and then you've got cellars that run the whole length of the venue as well. That's run by them as well. They're allowing us in that one there, and they've actually just said we're allowed to get into a hotel, which is borderline Wales, so more sort of England side of Wales, built in 1720, and she actually said that we can go there and we can stay over, and you'd all have your own rooms. Although it's run down, you actually would have your own room, and it's got the facilities there. But when you look at the venue, when you look at look how old it is, and you look at the pictures of it now, it looks a really good, interesting venue. The next one is the Warrior in Portsmouth. We've managed to get that now. Never investigated the shit before. It's really old. It's 1850s, 1860s. I
took a KT on the Isle of Wight Ferry once.
Did you? Okay, right. Totally random comment. So the Warrior, we've never investigated the ship before, apart from the Fast Cat ferry over to the Isle of Wight. But the Warrior is the one we want to get in for ages. Dave, honestly, we are going to it. The reason I'm delaying is weather, time of year. We just need to make sure we need to play it right. From what I've heard and what the conversation we've had, that we need to make sure that we time it right with the weather, because it's open to the elements in terms of being there. It's an old ship, so we just need to make sure that we're investigating it properly. And it's a lot of money, but I know that the last group took about 40 people there, which is loads. We've priced it more money. It's going to be more money than what you paid before. I think about around £60 but that we can take 15 people there, and we can do 3 groups of 5, and then always have a floor between us, so keeping the noise to a minimum. But Dave was saying there's a great, or I think it might have been Jonathan said, there's a grate that runs from the top deck right the way through. Very similar, I reckon, to Shire Hall. The Shire Hall's not a ship, but it's got almost a sort of chute that goes down, which is going to be loads of noise pollution. So I'm trying to play that right. The problem is, and again, this is me being honest, I've been moaned at this week for our price for Bronigarth. Been moaned at because we're charging 65 and other companies are charging 59 and stuff like that. But when I asked the guy that had been there, when I asked him how many people have been there, they took 30. We're taking 13. So
There we go.
anyone that sees our and think actually that's quite expensive, speak to us about them, because there's a reason behind it. And with the Warrior, I think the Warrior, Dave was saying there might have been about 30 odd people on it, 40 people. We're probably looking to take 15 max, absolute max. 12 if we can do it, but 15 probably to get that price on. I think it's around £900. It's a lot of money to book, but yeah, that's another one. We looking at the Haunted Antique in Hinckley, part of the Parabeat you went to. I've spoken to him, and he's given us dates for this year. Although we'll push that back out, so we're definitely going to make a visit there. And also another place, which is the Haunted Museum and Spirit Shop in Stoke-on-Trent. That's got it's got like an Annabelle doll in there, and it's got loads of artifacts.
It does.
Looks like a really good location, that one as well.
Yeah, Craig, isn't it? You speaking to?
Yeah. Stoke one, both of them. Craig, yeah.
Craig, yeah, I think it was on the back of. I think we had a conversation, Andy. But Craig's going to let us in there. It's a really good, realistic price, and that's going to be one. I think the one in Hinckley and the one in Hinckley and the one in Stoke. We're going to be investigating the artifacts as much as we're going to be investigating the building, which I find because there's always that sort of ticker tape theory, stone tape theory of stuff recorded. I think there's merit in sort of picking up evidence from stuff, and from artifacts and from old bits, and so they're two that I'm really looking forward to get to. I've got both not dates arranged. I've got both prices on them. We're just working out that, and then that's and then well, Workhouse, the Ram, Dudley Castle. What concerns me with all them is nothing's local.
It's a lot of big
We're
ones.
going to be apart from heading out to Warrior, nothing's local. So I think we'll go back to Merley House. I think Merley House is one that we're working on really well. I think there'll be the private one we do, Victoria House. I think that'd be one where we'll go and do. Dave Everest is saying, yeah, definitely worth paying the extra. He said there was 40 on his event, the last Warrior event.
40's too many on any event.
40's, yeah. We don't have we ever done 40, have we?
No. We did a charity event.
28. And we panicked at 28, and that was at Widley. We did a charity event where we donated to Naomi House, didn't we? Not Victoria House, aren't they? Weird. To Naomi House, and we raised like £700 for them for Naomi House. And it was really good, but we were panicking at 28 people, weren't we?
Yeah.
Whereas now it's now it's not. So we're never going near 40. I'm pitching venues now at 15 people, 12 people, and unfortunately people are missing out on places. But I'd rather go to a place twice. I'd rather investigate a place twice and take 12 each time than I would take in 40, 30 people and ruining the experience. Since we started to condense ourselves down, we've got better activity. And since we started to condense ourselves down, we've actually started to investigate again, which means we get our hobby back and we start to enjoy it. So that's really good. Another one we are looking at is Venice, going back to Pulvilla. We've said no for ages, but it's Dunny's fault. This is his fault. But September's the time when our time hop comes back.
It was this time last year.
Yeah, we went to Venice. We had an amazing time, amazing venue, and Lee dropped the bombshell that he's still got the telephone number for the Luigi, our water taxi driver. So I'm calling him. I'm going to call him, and I'm going to see whether we can pay him €100 again to get on the island. And if we can, we'll have a little trip to Venice. I think probably next year. Yeah, don't know, but loads of amazing venues. Because these
Like
are more
Venice.
local ones, don't we?
If it's a local one, then
Venice, Stoke-on-Trent, then we'll to Venice. And
we could investigate all the way to Venice.
And he said, "Can I go to Venice?" Yeah, of course you can. Of course you can. We'll get you on it, Danny. No worries. If we steal the Warrior,
That might be a thing.
we'll look into that. That might be something because then we could have a haunted trip.
Motor transport. Yeah.
Sleep over then.
It could be a sleepover. It could be like a haunted holiday.
Everyone's a winner.
Who's going to sail it?
I've got a peddler out on holiday last year, so
You're qualified then. Yeah.
wings.
Yeah. He qualifies. If anyone's stupid, it'd be Lee. So let's be honest. Michelle's got a boat. Mouse got a boat, and Julie on it.
Awesome.
So
Sold out.
honestly, it's written in the stuff.
There you go. We're done. Yeah. Sorted.
Oh God, we were serious for about an hour, and then we've gone completely off key. But loads of amazing venues, and 2023 is going to be happening. It's just as and when, and we're like I said, quality over quantity, which Annie said there as well.
Spot on.
It's spot on exactly where we've gone to really. But quality events, and if we, you may see the Summer Go Saturday Diary go one event every, rather than 18 events or 40 events we've done in a year. It might be one a month or one every 6 weeks, but that venue will be well thought out. Blow my own trumpet. Well thought, well sort of pre-investigated, and with a really good reason to go there. And I think that's going to be our ethos moving forward, really. And I think that's the only way to go with it. And I think that we'd do the little public events, because without the public events, we don't get to meet people like yourselves. We've seen some really strong, really good people this year that have come off the back of just finding us on the website and coming through. So we're never going to stop that. But I think that some of the venues we're going to head to will be controlled and making sure that we're getting the right numbers of people there and make sure we're there for the right reasons. But it's going to be exciting. This year's been good. We're not there at the end yet, so we're still September, aren't we?
We're doing another one of these shows before Christmas.
We're 100% because we do a launch show. So what we do is we'll probably get October out of the way, and then maybe, or we'll see. Right, I think Dave wants to finish. I don't know what he said. Si sono molte bash a Venezia. So Dave's either been to Venice or he wants to go to Venice, or he's had a bath in Venice.
Yeah.
My
We can speak the language, so
Yes,
he's qualified
it's
come.
I know.
So,
very
yeah.
actually, it says
Arching. Hmm.
There are many
Ah.
boats in Venice. I think nice. There's going to be a big one, like an old warrior in Venice soon.
Does that
Rock
float
up to the
still?
port.
Or what? We need to check that out first. Is the warrior actually still
that?
in the water, or do we have to worry about getting it into the water as well?
Triple. No, I think it's out. It's out on the side, isn't it?
You can do the line if it's not in the water.
The rocket. We've gone from side.
Just bump
Push it with a pedalo.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah. If not, we're pedaloing. We've got Mouse's boat.
Full
and
of,
then we're
full of
following
cornettos.
Be all right. Take it back. Yeah, full of cornettos. Yeah. But we've gone completely off corner. But there are loads of exciting venues, guys. Loads of places we want to go to. Keep this chat going as well. Like I said, this will stay on there. If anyone's watching this back and you want us to head somewhere, anywhere you've been to, anywhere you've been to or anywhere that you want us to go to, Annie and Julie and Mouse and people that have been to our places. Dave, you've been with other people. Oh,
Yeah, okay.
Warrior's still
Nice.
on the water.
There we go.
That's the thing then.
Perfect. Got to cut the rope.
That's it. Done.
We're off. So yeah, you don't need to book accommodation in Venice. You can sleep on the boat, can't you?
Yeah.
So we're saving people money. Not all heroes wear capes. Right, we're definitely digressing now. But loads of good places. We expect to probably launch early December. I get too excited. I launch before that, but like I said, we've still got tickets available for Shire Hall on the 28th of October and November at Purbeck. Come along, come with us, come and see us. And then I am looking to put another event on. Maybe the Saturday the 3rd of December works really well, and it might be like a Victoria House, somewhere local, but somewhere warm, but somewhere we can just have a last event, and then crack on. I think it'd be good to do like one last one. But yeah, that's watch space. Clear it with the boss first, and then we'll be on. Now I'm waiting a message back from Faye. Actually, Faye did say I sent her a few dates today, see where we can get in there. So I'd like to do a Victoria House one more time before the end of the year. We haven't been there loads as much as we used to, but we get some good activity there as well. So that'd be a really good one to get back to and try and pick up before Christmas. So but apart from that, I've talked loads. I always do, but it's been really good to chat with you guys. 48 odd comments, circa between sort of 6 and 10 people watching, which has been really nice. But come with us, come investigate with us, and we'll hopefully see you on an event. If not, we'll catch up in the next couple of weeks. Really, I guess we can do some live shows. We dip in and out, can't we? Once we get a few more venues. If you want us,
Are we going to go live weekend or
where are we going? We'll try. We will try. Yeah, we're going to try and go live the weekend at Bronigarth. We will try. And it's one of them with a little cab. Not sure on the signal. I'm not sure on the location. But if there's a way we can go live, we will do. And Annie and the guys, Annie to see you soon. We'll definitely see you soon, folks. But any venues, if you're watching this back, let us know where you want us to go. Keep the chat going. Keep the conversations going. And we hope to see you all very, very soon. Thank you, Annie, for setting us up. Thank you, Mary. Cheers, mate. We're
Right.
See you soon.
see you later?